So today I'm sharing about truth. What is my truth? So that's how we connect with truth. And in terms of Jewish practice, Jewish like magic, exile practice, even kares, which was the Jewish way of saying exile. So, oops. So my truth is that I'm not here to be abused. It feels bad. It takes so much of my energy that I can be better spending on me, on a higher calling, on my godly service. Choosing to feel my pain makes me feel free and creative and confident. I deserve to be loved for who I am, and not just when I'm pleasing or needing or useful or a toy or a distraction. I should and can protect myself. Excuse me. I don't care what people think about my being different or unique. I don't have to prove it. I'm not anything or that I am anything, and I can do my stretches, my movements whenever I need to. I was feeling like judged by a lot of people that I was doing weird stretches, but nowadays you see a lot of people doing weird things. I'm connected to it's called Shefa, or Ashrei, the flowing abundance. And you would say Mother Earth, Gaia, womb, love. If you worship that, it turns into Asherah. You can't worship it. You just have to be connected. Like, we have to let God into the physical world through the connection, be a part of godly light in the world, and connect with nature, supporting and sustaining and honoring the feminine, the bravely vulnerable, releasing the pattern of not enoughness, being in flow, believing I'm naturally being used to satisfy and enlighten and awaken, and thaw where it's needed in currency, basically receiving to share what I have to offer, and soothing and healing the wounded, toxic, even in the masculine. I don't believe in people just because others do. I genuinely am sincere when it comes to my devotional vision of another's potential. Doubt is a chance for reunion. My actions match my words, and I'm outgrowing hybrid compromises. I take accountability for my actions. I practice benefit of the doubt, humility, and choosing love for my own sake. Jewish magic is about like me looking at where these cool, what I thought was cool, like basically different things in Judaism that are physical, like wonders, phenomena. So Pinchas is a character who had an invisibility cloak. Urim and Tumim are these lights and perfections on the Choshen Mishpat. They're like flickering lights that give messages. Also, the book of secrets from near God's throne, given after the sin of the tree of knowledge of, eventually got to reach King Solomon, and it's called Raziel, right? The Adam, upon leaving the Garden of Eden, received gifts from Raziel, including the garment of nature, power, and strength, which King Nimrod and Esav actually got from him. And then the Zohar, which is the sunstone, which shines during the day, it emits light. And Shimon Bar Yochai was connected to it, the Zohar. Noach lit the ark with the stone, and Yosef was able to have dream interpretations from it. The rituals are embodied spiritual practice. For example, like Yibum, the man takes the dead brother's wife if there's no kids, and they have to do chalitza if she doesn't want to be with him, and then, or if he doesn't want to be with her, and they spit in a shoe, and this man's able to have kids for his dead brother through the widow. Havdalah is the overflowing Kiddush cup with the pinkies into the pockets, and prosperity and blessing the four elements, the candle, the blessing the spirit and the drink, the incense, as well as smell, food for the soul, and basically the separation. So there's like the fire, the smell, the drink, and the spiritual. And then there's Tchias Mason, which is in the books of Daniel, Isaiah, and Ezekiel, where we consider and learn our ancestors, our inheritance of this immortality, and we don't, drink the alcohol of idolatry. Tchias Mason is really like the resurrection. Then we have the Tetragrammaton being the ineffable name, where God is arriving into the now, and always was, always is, and always will be. And they have like Jehovah's Witness, or people who say Yahweh, but that's not how you pronounce it. It's written with the Hebrew letters Yud and He and Vav and He, and the Hebrew is not able to be pronounced in the way that these people say it in English. Then we have Mashiach, who's the incarnate leader of majesty to the divine, which the Jews are waiting for it to be revealed. There is Shemin HaMishcha, which is the holy anointing oil priest, and also priests who became prophets, and also it anointed the king. It had cassia, 6 kilograms sweet cinnamon, 3 kilograms olive oil, 6 liters, 6 kilograms of myrrh, Kene bosim is a fragrant cone. It's called sweet calamus, 3 kilograms, and so on. Anyway, so it was originally prepared by Moses. Then we have the ov, which is the necromancy with sees and witch can see and both can hear. Like the witch for Shaul, King Saul saw the spirits coming from the ground, and she said she was called Be'ein Dor, like without generation, like she didn't give off. She wasn't reproductive. They say Ketoret is the aromatic bark, cinnamon, myrrh, stacte, onyx, galbanum, frankincense, cassia, spikenard, saffron, costus, and it was burned twice a day on the golden altar. And then on Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol went to which was held in the Ark of the Holy of Holies to steam it with ketoras. These are just some examples. Then I want to share like the exile practices. So Elijah against Baal. Pre-exile prophets included exile meaning galus. The Mashiach is going to take us out of galus, exile, into geula. Now I talked about the feminine. My truth, I mentioned the feminine being in exile, and so like, the spiritual, when the basically like Daniel said there's a hope of saving, Jeremiah said the denouncing the wicked, Ezekiel saw God, Isaiah defends the people and implores for God to forgive them and predicts Emmanuel, and these prophets, there's pre-exile prophets, exile prophets, and I mentioned also Elijah against the Baal. Then we have the Philistine oppression with Samuel, who made a king out of Shaul, and told people not to worship Baal or Asherah. Baal is like mastery, like where you believe in the magic, you believe in someone in the world being like a wizard. And then the Asherah is where you believe that the physical is the source. So I don't even know this word, Jewish eschatology, I don't know how I would write it, about the end of this era, the end of the world. God redeemed Jews from captivity since Babylonian exile. This is the new Exodus. God returns Jews to Israel. Then God restores House of David, Temple in Jerusalem, and regent from David to lead Jews, aka Messiah, and rest of the world to Geula, which is justice, peace, redemption, world. And then all nations recognize God of Israel as the only true God. And then God resurrects the dead, and God creates a new heaven and earth. There's 7 steps, the end of this era. And there's 7 Noahide laws. Education, din. 2, to stop idolatry of Avodah Zarah, which is serving what came later, serving the foreign gods, serving something that's in the physical world, whether it's magic or abundance. And then blasphemy, no blasphemy, which is Klilat Hashem. It's basically cursing God or speaking degradatorily. Then we have sexual immorality, which is called Gilei Arayt. It includes everything from homosexuality to incest or bestiality. Bloodshed, Shfichas Hadamim. Even goes so far as to say if you publicly humiliate somebody so that they feel like they can't go back to their old life, you just took away their old life, it's included. Okay, 6, robbery, gezel, which could include intellectual property. If somebody has ideas and you steal their ideas and make yours out of theirs. And then we have limb tearing from animals, ever minachai. It's hard to think about that, but if you think about people who eat live animals in some Asian countries, Emmanuel is a sign God will protect the house of David. David waits his turn for Shaul to die, to be king, and he earns his wife, Shaul's daughter, with 200 Plishti foreskins. He killed Goliath with a slingshot and gave 7 of Saul's offspring to be killed as retribution for killing 85 priests of Avimelech, the Kohen Gadol, because Saul killed 85, and the entire population of Nob, which was like a prophet community. David he was a shepherd, he had adultery with Bathsheba, and they killed her husband. It says it's not really adultery because everyone belongs to the king when it's a time of, the king could choose whoever he wants who's single, and everyone is single when the husbands go off to war, they give a temporary divorce papers to their wife, just in case they don't come back, because Judaism, you cannot have 2 husbands. So they say it wasn't really adultery, but still. He played harp skillfully after Shaul was plagued. Shaul unlawfully offered a sacrifice, and because he didn't kill all the Amalekites and destroy their property, he had that plague. He was like tormented. He's the forefather of Messiah, and his son Avshalom schemes to overthrow him and got caught and killed. And Nasan said, the sword will never depart from your house. Even his child died, Avshalom. The son of Bathsheba, who he was with, the first child died. The second child is Solomon, who's the heir. David was the king for 40 years, died at 70 years, and he escaped King Avimelech achich, by pretending to be insane. His father is Yishai, Jesse. He received his life from Adam. It says Adam was supposed to live 1,000 years. He lived 930 years because 70 of his years went to David, who was born and died on Shavuos and is all about self-consciousness and sound judgment. And God softened iron for him and taught him chainmail for ironwork. And he praised God with birds, with mountains. His prayers brought things down from heaven, and he united the monarchy of Israel and Judah. There was one nation. And his son Solomon built the first temple, which he prepared everything for, and ruled after him. Then after his death, it split. After Solomon, it split into Judah and Israel, separate kingdoms. And after that, eventually came the exile because of the split. And finally, I'll share kares. These are some ways that somebody could cut off. This is a quick thing. I go into it in the future in more detail. Eventually, I'll get to that video, God willing. But for now, just punishment for deliberate or high-handed sins and cut off from one's people in any way, including even premature death. So first of all, it's eating leavened food on Pesach. This is against the Torah. The Torah is God's will. You get a recipe and it tells you, you do this, you'll be cut off from your people. You don't do this, you'll be cut off from your people. Follow the rules. So when you refuse to get circumcised, and you're a Jewish man, dying without kids, dying under 50, 60 could be the kares. Post-mortem exalted spirit state is denied. It could be domestic animal eating, like eating the lifeblood of a living animal, except fish. Denial of the world to come share. Not eating a domestic animal, but like when it's alive, maybe. Yeah, sex with someone's, like, these are some examples. In other words, eating the lifeblood of the animal except the fish, or sex with the father, the sex with the mother, with the father's wife, with the son's wife, with it's mostly for men. We could see here very clearly that it's all about men's sex drive. So anyway, sex with someone's mother, sex with delivered to men, except the one for bestiality. Women shouldn't lie with an animal. But anyway, you have to really, really hate your man in order to want to lie with an animal. But father's wife, son's wife, man and animal, with a mother and her daughter, with a married woman, with your aunt, with your sister, with your wife's sister, with your brother's wife, with your father's brother's wife, with a menstruating woman, cursing God via the Tetragrammaton, delivering a child to Moloch, the sacrifice to the Canaanite god, and to like walk through fire, serving another god, worshiping it, breaking Shabbos malachos, like basically not honoring the rules about Sabbath of what you're not allowed to do, what you're allowed to do, eating an offering or entering a tabernacle while impure, eating or drinking on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year, where we're not supposed to eat, or violating the prohibitions of Yom Kippur, slaughtering or offering an animal on an altar outside the boundaries of the temple or the tabernacle, replicating the incense ketoret, creating a replication of the holy anointing oil that the kings of David's house or the high priest were using it, that Moshe made, and failure to bring the Passover offering. And I'll stop here. And yeah, so you have to slaughter the domestic animal. That's also part of it. I think that's what I was trying to figure out that I wrote. So basically, we're talking here about the physical world, making this physical world a godly place. Have a good night. Bye.